Okay, Matt, how do we build true digital resilience?
Oh, true digital resilience.
We've already talked about some of this.
We've been talking about this at length. So here's the thing that we really have to think about here. I mean, our dependence on cloud systems is not going to go away. We are too far down the rabbit hole at this point.
I'm stockpiling food.
Yeah, but you were doing that beforehand anyway.
Okay.
No, when we talk about our reliance on cloud services, I mean, we have become such a distributed technological, infrastructure set that we have to rely on it. I mean, there's not really a way around it. So if we're going to be looking at something like a cloud service that is, and I know we didn't want to use this word, but like a backbone, not of the internet, but of our organization. I know. But
backbone is a technical term refers to like layer 1 and layer 2.
Yes,
okay.
I know. But
done geeking out.
But if we're gonna rely on something
fundamental.
Yeah, a foundation of our infrastructure like that, then we need to be prepared if something does go wrong with it. Because as we've seen before, I mean, these giant companies that we rely on are not infallible. They do suffer outages. It happens. So what happens if something like AWS goes down, as we just saw? And I mean, this reminds me of years and years ago with the Mirai botnet when DNS went down and the internet went dead for like half a day. And people couldn't get to their Facebook posts, and Snapchat stopped working, and people freaked out. And it was because of a single service provider that most people had never even heard of before. Yep. Like most people have heard of AWS
and at this point. DNS.
And it was DNS. That's very true. But again, we need to remember that resilience is more than just relying on the cloud to always be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's go through our key takeaways.
Yeah, let's do it.
Number 1, map and monitor your vendor ecosystem. I mean, this is third-party risk management and beyond.
Yeah.
So number 2 is fourth party. When you are talking to those third parties that you depend on, make sure you're asking, hey, who do you depend on? What is it that we call it, Matt? Okay, fine. Digital bill of materials. Come on, you were so excited about this.
Well, that was before I realized I didn't invent the term.
Oh, he was like, D-bomb.
Yes, it's a D-bomb. No, digital bill of materials. Like, understand what and this comes down to a lot of vendor vetting. But we've talked about this with third and fourth and farther down the chain risks. I mean, understand who the vendors are that your vendors actually use.
You might as well ask, like, are you dependent on Amazon, Azure, Google Cloud, and then see how many of your vendors are dependent on just one cloud provider.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, if you start with nothing else, just think about that.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a clearer picture of your risk.
Yeah. So when we look at the workloads that we rely on, we need to make sure that we have some kind of failover in place, or at least we're thinking about what we need to do for failover. If we rely on AWS, maybe it's time that we take a look at having Azure as a backup or something like that. Now, it's not that we need to necessarily pull the trigger on it, but onboarding a new vendor, especially a large cloud vendor, can be a long process that can cost a lot of money. So if we are doing it on the fly, shooting from the hip, that can become a big problem for us. So again, just think about it ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you're integrating vendor outages into your incident response playbook. So tackle this proactively, make an IR plan for it, and go from there.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you want to test it out as part of your tabletop exercises. Use real world conditions and simulate what would happen.
Yeah.
Do you think people should actually try cloud failover? Is that crazy?
Well, I mean, it's worth it to think about. I don't know that implementing it without the need to actually have that secondary vendor is really practical in a lot of cases.
Definitely walk through it in your tabletops. We've actually been doing
yeah.
quite a few tabletop exercises with the cloud outage scenario, and it's eye-opening because, I mean, even stuff like communication, we're going to jump on a Teams call. No, you're not.
No, you're not, because you don't have Teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, everyone. Again, this is Sherry Davidoff.
And I'm Matt Duran. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. We would love to hear from you. Thanks again for joining, and we'll see you next time.